Alright, YouTube. I'm going to rebuild my front diff on the RZR. I went with Sandcraft Motorsports products out of Phoenix, Arizona. Looked everything over, everything looks right. You know how returns go, you gotta make sure everything's in the same package and keep the stuff in good shape. All the seals seem to be right. That new diff bearing looks a lot nicer than the OEM. Good company to deal with. Got the heavy duty armature plate. 12 points of contact instead of the original 5, so let's get this thing tore apart, see what it looks like inside. It's actually nice to give you a couple little pry points on there and right here, just in case it sticks, but it wasn't really that tight. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Okay, took the magnet off, and you can see the brown armature plate. It has 6 points of contact, but they do match up with every other tooth on the 12 on the heavy duty one. So looks like you would be able to use the OEM one if you wanted to, but that's way more beefy, way more, yeah, it seems like the magnet would have a lot more steel to grab on that one. So seal puller, stick it here, give her a rip. Do that with the other side too when you get it the rest of the way tore apart. Pretty simple. And the other one should just press in with your fingers. Next step I'm doing is taking the little clips that hold the rollers in out of this carrier. And what I do is I go from the inside. You can see what I do there. I'm trying to hold the camera and do this. Right there. And you just push up. There it goes. Obviously you have your hand on it so it doesn't, but that's the easiest way of taking them off. And you gotta put these little guys back on the heavier duty sprag. And I didn't know this, because I'm new to this, or not really new to the riding thing, but to RZRs in particular, but the Highlifter came with a metal sprag carrier already, but since I got the heavy duty armature plate that only works with the Sandcraft Motorsports carrier, I'm gonna go ahead and switch it anyway, so why the heck not. I wish I could have videoed taking the rollers and putting them in the new sprag, but it's a pain. You can see there's 2 rows of them. So you got to start this thing and shove one in at a time as you work it around. And then all of a sudden you get it to fall down, and then you do the next row, and then working it around. And I only had one time where I pulled it out just a hair too far on the top row here, and they all went everywhere. Talk about that. Oh crap, now I got to start all over feeling. Yeah, it's no fun though. But as you can see, the heavy duty cam plate lines up perfect. Look at that grip. Well, time for bearings. So I hit the first bearing off. Very simple. What I did was I just stuck it in a vise. Obviously I don't have a press yet. But what I did was, at first I just stuck this piece of steel over it. One hit with the hammer, it went about halfway off. And then stuck a 27mm impact socket on top of it. Put that on there and hit this weld again, and next hit popped right off. Pretty simple. So Sandcraft in their videos advertise these bearings being really quiet, and they're right. That one's actually got a little bit of wear already. The balls wiggle just a little bit. This bearing is silent, so I'm excited. I am definitely excited. It's a little more thicker too. Got a thicker race than the OEM. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I really am. Alright, I got both new bearings pressed on. Spacer in there. Spacer's the one that goes down in that. This one will stick out this seal. Now I gotta get that seal out. I gotta get this seal out. That goes on like that. And then press the bearing off and put the gooder Sandcraft bearing in. What I'm going to do with this bearing is I'm going to use the seal puller. But I'm going to drill a hole in it and then rip it out. So stay tuned. Yep, 1/4 inch drill bit. Drill her out, stick it in there, pops right off. And then there's a snap ring there and a snap ring on the outside. So yeah, get both them snap ring offs. Doesn't it sound like the bearing is loud as heck? And there's even a little bit of play already. Time to replace that bearing. A lot of the videos that I see, this is supposed to just slide right out. But I didn't have that nice of an issue. So what I did, couldn't get in there to pry. You don't want to break the housing. These gears are reinforced or heat treated. You know, they're made tough. That's where you get brass. And I actually hit right on the edge of the teeth like this because that's the only thing you can hit on when they're up in here. And I just hit down just like that. And I had it standing up like this in the vise. And luckily enough, I don't think I damaged anything, but gosh dang it. It was really starting to make me mad, so I'm happy I didn't break nothing, and let's get to changing the bearing out. Alright, got the bearing pressed on the pinion. Pinion's back in. Time to reassemble everything. Just to let you know, I pressed that bearing on and off 3 times, and I wasn't able to get this snap ring and this snap ring to fit in the groove properly, and I was pretty close to calling Sandcraft Motorsports and being like, yo, am I just dumb, or is there a possibility of this bearing being machined wrong? And no, I was just dumb. I swear that I flipped that bearing over both ways and pressed it on both ways, and I don't think I ever did. But I think it has to be pressed on a certain way, because once I turned it around the last time here and pressed it on, that both snap rings went right in the groove, and got a bunch of my ball joint press pieces and pieces of steel, and you can use just a vise, hammer everything in. So time for reassembly. There. Alright, rebuilt. A little quieter. Everything is back to being stiff and tight. So hopefully I didn't screw anything up. I'm not no mechanic, I just do this shit out of my garage. So I take my time, and I like learning from my mistakes, fixing stuff myself, and learning instead of just forking out cash. So see how it goes. I will do probably review run Sunday. It's my friend's birthday, and he wants to go riding. He told the wife that it's my birthday, you have to let me do what I want. And of course he chooses riding, so stay tuned.